Welcome back. Welcome to part two of chapter two, the illusion of the universe. Previous video I went over relativity and quantum physics, showing the illusions of this universe. And the last thing I'm going to want to go over is string theory. I didn't have time to get it in my allotted time there. So string theory is a connection between relativity and quantum physics. The math of quantum physics doesn't work when you get outside of time, and quantum physics doesn't work when you're in time, pretty much. So string theory tries to connect them. Is an attempt to connect relativity and quantum physics. This is the source of a lot of wild concepts. This is where we get a lot of really cool ideas that are really earth-shattering. This also tells us that our universe has 11 dimensions to it. There are four big ones that we perceive, we get to see all the time, but there are seven small ones that we don't get to perceive, but the math says it is there. So one of the things in string theory that I think is really interesting is called the holographic principle. This theory states that for every 4D object in this universe, there is a two-dimensional object on the event horizon or brain of our universe. The 2D objects are connected by strings. This theory gives rise to the anthropic principle. So they call this the cosmic hard drive. Physicists say that the 2D objects seem to code for the 4D objects. They seem to be entangled with each other, which Einstein says was spookiness at a distance. The strings connect them like marionettes. It's information embedded in the event horizon of our universe, coding for everything in the universe. So whatever is going on in the 4D objects, the same thing is coded for in the 2D objects, and both are equally real. Um, because of this, because of this concept, this could cause the acceleration expansion of our universe, or the accelerated expansion of our universe, which is something that is baffling scientists today. That one of the biggest things in science, that is the biggest mystery, is dark energy and dark matter. This concept right here can solve all of that. But the anthropic principle, uh, this concept brings up the anthropic principle, which scientists really do not like. But it does give evidence. Um, it does get evidence to explain a lot of things in this universe. It screams God, and that's why they don't like it. They cannot ignore it, however. And so the people that found it out didn't like it at first, but now they've come to accept it as something that is important. It says that the universe can only form if it will be observed by life. If no life can form in it, it will not form. So we're only here because the universe is only here because we're here. We're observing it. It needs an observer. And scientists don't like that because, again, you have no randomness in there, and that means we're here for a purpose, and that purpose has intelligence. So, where did this concept come from? Where did the holographic principle come from? It came from an argument between two scientists, Leonard Susskind, one of the creators of string theory, and Stephen Hawking, about the information paradox in a black hole. Hawking's position was that he said that as an object goes into a black hole, its information is lost. This violates the laws of physics. It violates the laws of quantum physics, where all information is stored. Because all information is conserved in nature, this is something that scientists had a big argument with. And guess what? Hawking's was found to be wrong. There's some huge implications of this. Um, Suskind's position was, he said all information would be conserved as objects went into a black hole. He was found to be right because all the information of the objects are stored on the event horizon of the black hole. Uh, because the because of the black hole's size is proportional to the information stored on the event horizon, um, allowing the black hole to get bigger. The more information when a black hole, the more information got bigger. Because a black hole and the universe share common characteristics, the same thing is going to happen on our event horizon. All the 2D information is there. There's information stored on the event horizon that codes for what goes into our universe. Implications. This could explain why the universe's expansion is accelerating. It could also show there is no dark matter or dark energy. So, because the acceleration of the universe they're saying dark energy is causing the expansion of the universe. This could be explained by the need to increase the size of the event horizon of our universe because of the increased information life would bring to this universe. This gets rid of dark energy completely. You don't need dark energy. You now have God making the universe bigger because more information has to fit on the outside of it because life exists, because there are so much complex things going on in life. It's causing the expansion of the universe. Because there's so much information that in life that exists with all the chemistry involved, once life and living things start to start observing this world, all that information that causes its existence, and then it's seeing everything, observing what's going on in the universe, has to be collected, and that now it's replicated because of the observation of the world. Then the more observant the life gets, the more information it's going to take in. Then, and the more of these that there are there, the more it's going to take in. And then eventually, humans, life, makes other objects that can record the universe. And that has to be recorded on the event horizon. So it just keeps on going exponentially. All this information has to be recorded exponentially. And now you have the acceleration universe. And here's the evidence. When you look at the W map, it shows the acceleration expansion of the universe starts to happen about the same time life started to evolve on Earth. This has some big implications that I will talk about later on in the book. But you can see here, and you can also look at anything else on the when the expansion started. They say expansion of the universe, or the acceleration of the expansion. I'm sorry, the acceleration of the expansion started taking place about 4 billion years ago. Life started about 3.8 billion years ago on Earth, or that's our oldest fossil record of it. It could have happened. It could have started happening before that. We don't know, but they are very, very close to each other. All right. So strings. The strings that connect the two-dimensional objects to the four-dimensional objects account for the detection of dark matter. These particles in the 2D and the 4D objects could be entangled, showing the spooky action at a distance seen by relativity that Einstein thought he saw. These strings explain away dark matter. So according to holograph principle, there is no dark matter and there could be no dark energy. So we've got 90-some% of all the stuff in this universe that physicists don't know what it is could actually be God. And this is the proof. Reason we can't see the dark energy or the dark matter is because it's not there. Or the energy itself is God, energy personified, accelerating the expansion of the universe for all the things he wants to have happen, and to store all the information on the outside and letting us see it. All right. This shows God's omniscience. God is all-knowing. The holographic principle shows that he can see and record all things from all time. Everything is recorded on the event horizon of our universe, and only God can see it. So this shows God's omniscience, where he's able to see all things, and the universe is there coded to do this with him, to show it to anybody who wants to see it. Now, let's talk about unparticles. Unparticles are basically connected to all particles of this universe. They are set up like branches of a tree. The particles are the leaves of the tree in this unit, so they're in the universe, and the unparticles outside the universe are the branches. Unparticles are like waves or strings that control the particles of this universe. All the branches and trees lead to a source. If you see that in a tree, that's why I have the picture of the tree there. This shows us God's control over everything. This is evidence that shows God could be connected to all things and able to control all things at the smallest level where no one can see, just so that we can have free will. He is connected to all particles in this universe so that he's able to manipulate in a way that we don't even know what's going on. And there's a reason for that. He doesn't want to be seen directly by everybody, because then we would fear him. We would have to love him because we know he's totally there. He wants us to love him because he loves us, not out of fear. And if he showed us directly he was there, we we would naturally love him out of fear. And that's not how he wants it to happen. Jesus didn't come to us that way. He came to us meek and mild. He came to us humbly. He came here to serve. And that's what God's doing for us all the time, serving us behind the scenes, controlling everything so that we can survive in this universe. And this shows God's omnipotence. God is all powerful because he has power over all the particles and is connected to everything, choreographing it all for his will, but in a way that we can have free will to choose him over ourselves. Because frankly, we're always fighting over ourselves and him. Who's going to be our God? Us? Or are we going to rely on God? And so he wants to give us that choice. So he's going to stay behind the scenes. He will let us find him. As you can see, everything is set up with his universe for us to see him and find him if we truly look for him, if we're looking for him with all our heart and with all of our love and all of our soul. But if we don't want to see him, he won't make us see him. He doesn't want us to have to see him. He wants us to see him, but he only wants us if we really want to. So the last thing is, it shows us there are 11 dimensions to this universe. String theory shows there are 11 dimensions to this universe, 4 large space-time dimensions, which we can perceive, and 7 little dimensions inside of the atom, which could be the outside of time and space, and we cannot perceive. So what is in those smaller 7 dimensions? I don't know. Could this be where God is working right next to us and through us? Is this also where does this take us outside of time and space, time space continuum? Uh, does our spirit travel there when we die? Is this where heaven is? There's a lot of things. What could be going on in these 7 dimensions that we cannot perceive or cannot see? Only in math can we see them through string theory. So that was the chapter 2, part 2 on the illusion of space and time and God's chemistry of life. I hope you join me again for chapter 3, which has even more information, has a lot of cool stuff in there that also shows evidence that God is with us and taking care of us, loving us, forming us the way he wants in his space, his time. And I hope you join me then for the next one. Thank you. Bye.